We got a few more. You ready? Are you sure? I think we're gonna play something heavy now. That was all warm-up stuff.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, good morning. That's Uncle Lou here. That's right, it is me, Uncle Lou, live on LouTube for you. Thanks for watching. Uncle Lou After Dark, the college football call-in show. How's everybody doing? Great. Yeah, that's great news. That makes me happy to hear. Everybody's doing okay. On a Thursday, too. Right around the corner from March Madness. Some of the smaller conference tournaments started this week. Big ones, I guess, start next week. And then it'll be tournament time, NCAA tournament time, March Madness. One of the best times, one of the best sports times of the year, honestly. That first 4 days of March Madness is unbelievable. I don't know how many times I have to tell y'all that before y'all start watching it. But per usual, I'll be watching. Doing good again on Pay Lou this week. I'm 2-1 so far today. 2-1. So I'm up again today. Got one more game tonight at 11. So I'm either going to be 3-1 or 2-2 today. We'll see. Either way, I'm not losing money today. And I was already up for the week. So working on my 5th straight winning week. I'm on an absolute tear when it comes to betting these basketball games, which makes sense considering the fact that I'm such a basketball expert. Yeah. So I'm in the positive 4 weeks in a row, working on the 5th week now. Yeah. And I'm up quite a bit this week. So how's everybody doing? Y'all want to talk some college football today? Spring practice underway. Kalen DeBoer let Bama beat reporters come watch 30 seconds of practice today, and it's official according to them. Bama's going 100-0. So good luck to anybody that has to play them. 2 practices in, and they can't contain themselves down there in T-Town. Unbelievable. Actually, I take that back. It's very believable. I mean, it's very believable that they're acting that way. We all know they're not going undefeated. They can't go undefeated in a playoff era. You can't go 15-0. Unless we have some kind of mass worldwide pandemic where they shorten the season and play games in front of 0 fans, Alabama ain't got no chance of going undefeated. That's been proven over the last decade. So, per usual, they're just out of their mind. Jarrett, thank you for the super chat to kick off the show tonight. I appreciate that. Wherever I may roam, and sad but true. 2 great Metallica songs. Wherever I may roam, of course, is the best Metallica song. Yeah, that's the best Metallica song. Sad but true is up there too. But yeah, Wherever I May Roam is the best Metallica song. And so I appreciate you requesting that, and thank you for helping to support the show. That does mean a lot. These live shows are, that's what keeps these live shows on the air, is these direct donations. So I really appreciate you helping to support the show and the channel, especially in the off season. These times are tough out here in these YouTube streets in the college football off season. So thank you, Jarrett. If anyone else would like to help support the show, the super chat's a great way to do it. It's right at the bottom of the comment section. You can attach a note, question, comment, troll attempt, or even a request like Jarrett did. And I'll be happy to oblige. Just keep in mind that I will be responding accordingly. Yeah. Bama or Ohio State? Question mark. Well, I don't know what the question is. What about them? What are you asking? Who's better between those two? Well, Ohio State's ranked higher in every single ranking on planet Earth. So other than Bama fans, everyone agrees that Ohio State appears to be better heading into the season than Bama. Yeah, except for Bama fans and, well, maybe in a handful of Michigan fans, maybe, because, you know, they're permanently stuck in the maze haze, and they probably think Ohio State's terrible. Alabama should focus on basketball? Why? They've never even made a Final Four. Didn't they just get smoked by Florida, too? Wow. Absolute poverty. Absolute fucking poverty. Alabama. What a shame. What's up, Trey? Let's take roll, and then we'll get to some phone calls. Spring practice is underway. EA Sports video game coming out in July. What else? Nick Saban quit because he has a team full of whiny-ass crybabies. Not my words. That's according to Nick Saban. What else? Eli Gold took a job at announcing at another school. So, I guess he's no longer a Bama man. I don't know. What else is going on? Florida State is still in the ACC. And they will be for the entirety of the 2024 season. Probably the 2025 season, although I'm not 100% sure on that yet. But they will be in the ACC for the 2024 season, no matter what the Twitter sources over in delusional Knoll town tell you. They will be in the ACC in 2024, and most likely will be in the ACC for 2025, although that's not a certainty. But they're not getting out of the ACC last June. They're also not getting out of the ACC last July. They're not getting out of the ACC last September 15th in the middle of the season. They're not getting out of the ACC on December 15th at the end of last season. They're not getting out of the ACC on January 1st, which was 2 months ago now. They're not getting out tomorrow. So, yeah. Carson Beasley, what's up, buddy? Nature Boy, Ken Dog 115, Sir UGA. Money Man, what's up, buddy? Money Man was at the Slob Olympics. Yep. Flew all the way down from Minnesota. He's a trooper. Jay Shipes, Eric Maida. I guess. I don't know. I don't know about that last name, but that's the best I can do. Christopher Jimenez. Yeah, the J is pronounced like a Y on that. Georgia Metalhead. Motley Dog. Eli, Georgia Bulldogs. Jeremy Garland. Jeremy Garland stopped by the Slob Olympics, too. On his honeymoon, though. Boy. The ball's on that guy. Guess where we're going for our honeymoon? Slob Olympics. Yeah. Milkus Khan, G-Man, Sir UGA, Schultz 31. Michael Campbell. What a shock. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan and a Notre Dame fan. Let me guess. Yankees, Lakers. Fucking bandwagon ass motherfucker. Yeah. Floby, Deco, Joshua Alex George, which is apparently one person, not three. Oregon man. Robert Ev Bayeka. Oy. I didn't name you, dude. Trey Bartolo. What's up, buddy? Phil Stevens. David LaFleur. That sounds like a hockey player. Are you a hockey player, David? David LaFleur. Mr. Man. Mr. Man. I bet the bio on your Twitter profile just says alpha male. Joshua Jorgensen. Rocca's Belly, which I think is a jackpot troll account. Yeah. Danielle Wilson. Jesse D. All right, you want to talk some college football? Let's do it. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Oh, I got. Good morning, Lou. How you doing, bud?
Hey, Eric. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. Well, I guess it's time for the spring games.
No, it's not time for the spring games. Couple of months away on that. 6 weeks in that.
Oh, okay. At least it's time for the practices, at least.
Now, it is time for the spring practices. Yes, that's true. Yes, spring games
Okay,
still
yeah.
a ways away there in that, too, and also.
Yes, too. I mean, I'm really hoping that it's gonna be interesting. I think one of the backup quarterbacks that I thought we were gonna have this year, he's injured, and I believe he's out for the year.
At Missouri?
From what I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, that happened last year too. Remember? Yep. Y'all brought that guy in from what was it, Miami? Somewhere. Yeah. Backup quarterback was injured last year during the spring too. And didn't seem to matter.
Yeah, I guess now that Sam Horn's out for is done for the season, I guess that means that the season's over. Is that what it is?
The season's over. Yep, if you got an injured player, season's over. You don't believe me? Ask the Bama man. Yep, you got no chance
yes,
now.
Sir.
Damn, that's terrible luck you have there, because there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of hype for Missouri heading into this season. But yeah, if they've got an injury, it's over. Just ask any Bama or Ohio State fan; they'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's terrible, man. I hate to hear that. Oh well. I guess instead of wait till next season, I guess we're gonna have to say wait till 2 seasons from now. If you're a Missouri, you just wait. You just wait till 2 seasons from now when we don't have an injured player.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I mean, anytime I hear something about it doesn't matter or the season's over, it's really stupid because there's so many other players on the roster too.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Eric. I have an important phone call I have to take. Hold on 1 second. Hello? This is him. What? You're lying. I swear you're lying. You're sure? Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye. Eric.
Yes, sir.
You know what they just told me?
What's up, bud?
They told me Missouri has 85 scholarships. Is that true?
I believe it is. Yes, sir. Oh man, yeah. It's always next man up. So for these people that say the season's over, come on. Because you guys got people behind them too. Yeah.
85 scholarships.
A lot of, and these are all Division I athletes also. Yep. Yep. Yep, so, but 85 scholarships for every single team.
That's right. And you know what else is true for every single team?
What's that?
Every single day of the year, from January 1st to December 31st, every single team on the planet has one or more injured players.
Definitely. If you don't, you're just plain old lucky.
No such thing as being that lucky. Everybody's got at least one injured player constantly all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess Missouri basketball, it's just an absolute crap show now.
That's pretty much what I was thinking. Yeah.
What?
That's pretty much what I was thinking too.
Yeah, 0-17 inside the conference. It's ugly. Yep.
You talking about Missouri basketball?
Yeah, it's ugly, bud.
Yeah, but they're only like 5 wins away from making the NCAA tournament. All they got to do is win 5 games in a row in the SEC tournament, and they're in.
in fact, I mean, it was funny. A few days ago, my dad was joking about that.
It's almost like the regular season doesn't even matter at all.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
In fact,
weird.
a few days ago, my dad was joking about that. I'm like,
Tennessee fans are running around celebrating because they won the regular season SEC championship in basketball. I can't think of anything that means less than that. Can you?
Well,
I can't. The only thing I can think of that means less than that is that banner that Alabama's got hanging up over Nick Saban's retirement home door that says, "We beat UGA 2023." That's the only thing I can think of that means less than a regular season college basketball conference championship, which literally means nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, in fact, I was explaining to my dad the other day. My dad was joking about Missouri about if Missouri was going to make the tournament. I'm like, well, it's possible. He looked at me like I'm kind of crazy, and I'm like, well, every team gets to make the SEC tournament. So all they got to do is win 5 games.
Listen, anything's possible. South Carolina beat Georgia in 2019 in football.
Oh, man. You know, and
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Oh, anything's possible.
I tell you, Lou, I was sitting on that day, and I could not wait to get home just to see that reaction from you, because if once I thought that game went final, I knew that reaction video was gonna be epic.
Yeah.
And it was. Yep.
Hurricane Adam says, I still want a Who Have They Played t-shirt. You know what? A lot of people wanted that t-shirt, which is why I made it and put it up for sale in the Uncle Lou t-shirt store 6 years ago, where it's been sitting for 6 years. In fact, still there now. Yeah. So you can go to the Uncle Lou Teespring store and buy all the Who Have They Played t-shirts that you want.
Yeah.
Now, as far as who they played, I still don't know. I still think nobody. I think is what the deal is with that. I still think everybody has still played nobody.
Who have Georgia played? Woo!
I mean, I still read my comment section every day, and it's still filled with people telling me that every single team ain't beat nobody. So, yeah, every day, Eric, every day. You wouldn't believe shit weird.
Yeah, I think Octavia wants to come on and hang out with me here, so put him on if you can.
Put Octavian on. Oh, my God. Where's this clown? There he is. Yeah, go ahead.
What's up? This is your favorite Florida fan. What's up, my favorite Mizzou fan? What's going on?
Oh, not much. Dude, how you doing, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm recovering. I'm doing okay. Florida started spring practice today. Guess what?
Nice.
Guess what? DJ Lagway is better than Carson Beck. Ha ha ha! Carson Beck, you suck. DJ Lagway is about to take over the SEC. DJ Lagway is about to take over the SEC. What you got to say about that, Lou?
He's not even playing this year. What is this, a phone call for 2025?
Well, listen. When we beat y'all, and I got a message for you Georgia fans. You Georgia fans been wanting to smoke all week long. Let me tell you something. Where were you when you was when Mark Richt was there? Where were you when David Green was getting his ass beat every year against Florida? Where were you when Jim Dunnan couldn't win a game? He couldn't win but one game, just one game against Florida. Where were you? Where were you when Ray Goff couldn't beat Steve Spurrier? Where were you?
Octavian, you weren't even alive. You weren't even alive when that was happening, you big dummy. You weren't even alive when Ray Goff and Jim Donnan were president.
You was crying on the side of the road in Jacksonville, wishing you could be the Florida Gators. When we whoop y'all this year, we're ending y'all. We're ending y'all. There's no more Georgia. There's no more Bulldogs. And I'll tell you this right now. Y'all is not the power. We are the power of the SEC.
Oh, my God.
We are.
This guy is
We are the power of the SEC. I don't care if Tennessee has a two-pick of a quarterback. We're going to knock his dick in the dirt.
I didn't think you could get any dumber, man. I really did. Does COVID cause brain damage?
I'm telling you, Florida is going 16-0. We're going to be the first undisputed 16-0 national champions. And you can book it.
You haven't won 16 games in the last 4 years combined.
It doesn't matter. We're going to show everybody, starting with the Miami fucking Hurricanes, who quarterback who can't complete a fucking pass. That's what's going to happen.
You know, the only reason I don't hang up on you when you embarrass yourself like this is because you continue to show up during the season. If you were one of these jamokes who comes around every March and tells me you're going 100-0 and then I can't find you in October, I'd hang up on you. But you're so dumb, you stick around while Florida's busy going 4-8 every year. So
we're going 16. We're going 16-0. We're beating Georgia. We're ending Georgia streak. We're tired of being second. We try to play in second with Georgia. And ETN, I'm glad ETN said what he said, because you know what? It added more fuel to the fire for that ass whooping November the 2nd. Because that ass whooping is going to be real, real sweet when y'all be looking sad and crying back to Athens when we celebrate, take the trophy, kick and take it back to Gainesville. That's what we're going to do.
All right.
Missouri, on the other hand, do we even play Missouri? Eric? I think Eric's gone. But yeah. Missouri.
He's gone.
Hey,
no, he's still there. He's still there.
Missouri, you know, who does the Missouri even play this year? That's just want to know.
Who do they play? Who do they play?
Who do they play?
But they don't play Georgia, so.
They don't play us either.
The only bet we get stuck playing Alabama.
Oh yeah, y'all know y'all taking the L on that one. So y'all might just go ahead and talk the other fella lost there.
Yeah.
I'm just going ahead and say it. But anyway, Missouri better hope and pray they don't go 6-6. They better hope they don't go 6-6.
6-6 would be amazing for Florida.
Listen here, we're going 16-0. We're going to be the first undisputed 12-team playoff national champions. And then when those Georgia Bulldog fans answer a trivia question, we're gonna rub it in their face. Every time that we get a chance, we're gonna rub it in their face. And then I'm gonna tell you FSU fans something while I'm on here too. You FSU fans, you delusional as fuck. I just want to let y'all know right now. Y'all not winning a fucking game. Y'all is trash as hell. The ukulele dude is horrible. Fucking your wide receivers is ass. I'm just wanting to put it out there. FSU will be lucky to win 6 games this year. I'm just gonna say it. FSU is horrible. Tennessee is horrible. They got a 2-pick as a quarterback. They got a head coach that look like fucking Bobby Hill. And their fan base, they good. They're not good. You sorry. You saw 2 of the softest programs in America, the Florida State Seminoles and Tennessee Volunteers. They're soft-ass programs. They're soft. Texas A&M is on the verge of being soft, too. They're soft as hell. LSU, they just cocky as fuck. Once you punch them in the mouth a couple of times, they just fall off the damn cliff. And to tell you the truth, Georgia's the same way. Once you punch them in the fucking mouth, once you punch Georgia in the mouth, they cry back in their goddamn in their dog house and get the ice treatment and whatever. They just horrible. They're just horrible. And Alabama fans, they got something good. They don't have nothing good. You're going back to the Mike DeBoss days. You're sorry as hell. Eric, listen. Florida is about to take back the SEC, man. And
can you remind me when the last time Florida had a winning record?
Florida had a winning record in 2020.
So 4 years ago.
4 years ago when we beat a quarterback named Stetson Bennett and Damon Mathis. And not to mention Kirby Smart, over there jumping up and down when you know, Kyle Pitts was mossing the shit out y'all team there.
Kyle Pitt got knocked out of that game because he's a pussy.
Yeah, and
He spent
what
the
his
second,
name?
he spent the second half of that game chasing Alice in Wonderland. He didn't know where the fuck he was at. Fucking clown.
Yeah, I bet it was.
That fucking
guess
clown
what?
didn't know where the fuck
And guess
he was
what?
at.
But guess what? We
got
was
knocked
the
the
last
fuck
team.
out.
We was the last team to put
He
an
got knocked the
absolute
fuck out.
whooping. We was the
He
last
got
team to
knocked the
put an
fuck out.
absolute whooping on Georgia.
He
We
got knocked
put
the
an
fuck out.
absolute beat down on them. We put a beat down on them. And that's what we're going to do to the Miami Hurricanes and the whole rest of the schedule. We're going to put a
2020.
beat down.
Long live 2020. The last time
Yeah,
Florida had a winning record.
When we beat Georgia this year, it's gonna be a lot of Georgia fans angry, upset, wondering how Florida beat us again, thinking they got up, they thinking they got over, but you didn't get over on us. They just got lucky. And that's what I call them, the Georgia lucky dogs.
And who's got more national titles, Georgia or Florida?
We're tied, sir.
No, it's four.
We're
Four
tied,
is more than three. Four is more than three. And who's got more SEC titles?
Who cares?
Georgia.
Florida runs the SEC.
And who
Florida
leads the all-time series?
Florida owns Georgia.
No. Georgia owns the all-time series. Georgia's got more SEC titles.
Florida
Georgia's
owns
got
Georgia.
more national titles.
And guess what?
I own
DJ
you.
Lack.
So
Guess what? DJ Lagway is better than Carson Beck. I just want to put it on record.
well, he's completed 0 passes in college, and he's not starting this year. So again, is this a 2025?
But Carson Beck sucks, man. I'm just saying.
There's a top returning quarterback in all of college football, and he sucks. Okay, all right.
He sucks.
He's the he's the top returning quarterback in all of college football. So now what?
When he takes a beating against Clemson the first game of the season, he won't be the best one. Y'all gonna be the new Kentucky this year. I'm just gonna put it like that. Y'all is the new Kentucky.
Well, that's still better than Florida. That's still better than Florida, sir. If Georgia's the new Kentucky, that's still better than Florida. Kentucky fucking owns you.
Kentucky sucks. We own Kentucky.
No.
We literally own them. We own Kentucky.
They beat you like 4
serious?
out of the last
Are
6.
you serious?
Dummy.
Are you serious?
They beat you 4 out of the last 6.
We beat them 31 years. 31 years.
Well, what would he fucking do? You weren't alive when that was happening.
There's no way they can do that. They can't beat us 31 years.
They
can't beat us 31 years.
You need to find a Kentucky
can't beat us 31 years.
Jesus Christ, man. How do you lose to Kentucky like it's a hobby, man? What is the world is going? Have they beat you 4 of the last 6? Jeez.
And what, when y'all lost to Vanderbilt 4 or 5 years ago on homecoming? Was it like that when y'all lost to Vanderbilt on homecoming?
God damn, Sunbelt Billy doesn't even have a winning record against Vandy. What are you talking about?
It doesn't matter because he's gonna end all that this year when he ends the Georgia Bulldogs winning streak against the Florida Gators.
Keep listening to Josh Pate if you want to. It'll pump your ass so full of sunshine you'll be shitting Lucky Charms.
We're going to be the new Alabama. We're going to be the new dynasty of the SEC starting this year after we tear down and kick out everybody's teeth in those Texas school, Tennessee, Florida State, LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss. You get them, you put them in front of us, we're going to punch them in the mouth. That's what we're going to do. We're going to punch them in the mouth. Florida is getting it done. Ole Miss man's going to be crying. FSU man's going to be crying. Kentucky man's going to be crying. Texas A&M man's going to be crying. We all the SEC. We is the SEC. We is the heartbeat of the SEC. When Florida's not doing good, the SEC's not doing good. When SEC's good, Florida's doing good. And when we get back on top, when we dominate, I promise you this, it's going to be the best time of your life. Florida is back. 2024. Florida is back. Now, you Georgia fans can suck on that. you can suck on that, and you can and you can tell your horrible defense and your defensive coordinator that look like a goddamn snaffle brain to get that shit together and get ready for Clemson. Cause I'll tell you what, Clemson's gonna run that shit up down that ass. Go Gators, beat Georgia, and fuck FSU.
Eric, Octavian, thank y'all for the calls. That was amazing. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Try breathing through your nose. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
How you doing, Lou?
Hey, good.
I just want to. Well, I'm a Penn State fan, and I like you last year were like probably the biggest Penn State defender like on the internet. So, are you still on the bandwagon for 2024?
Well, there is no Penn State bandwagon. They haven't won anything in 40 years. But I'm not a Penn State defender. I was a James Franklin defender. I don't give a shit whether Penn State goes 0-100 or what. I got no reason to defend them. So, I mean, yeah. I think they're the third best program in the Big Ten. So,
yep.
I don't really think I have to defend that. It's just a stone cold fact.
Yep. I mean, yeah, we win the Big Ten 8 years ago now, but like no one cares about it.
No.
People wanted James Franklin fired like 5 years ago now. I mean, people are sick of this 10-2 crap.
Well, that's fine, but we 12-team playoff now. So in the last 8 years, how many times would Penn State have made the playoffs?
I think it's like 4 or 5.
4, yeah. So,
I mean, yeah, we would have benefited probably the most of the new playoff format more than anybody else, just by being in that like good but not good enough in the 4-team era, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, Utah, Penn State, Oregon. These are teams that would have made multiple playoffs in a 12-team format over the last 10 years.
Yep. Do you think Drew Aller is hot garbage? Do you think he can improve? Because a lot of us are not satisfied with his performance last year.
He better. I mean, he was a first-year starter, so you do see some improvement a lot of times from year 1 to year 2. But to me, it was disappointing. I mean, I really couldn't tell a difference between him and Sean Clifford. Now, Sean Clifford had been there for 100 years and was no good. Aller's only had the 1 year as a starter, so there's still hope that he can get better. And he's going to have to get better, or Penn State's going to be stuck in the same spot they've been in. The defense is pretty good. The running game is amazing. They're not great. They remind me a lot of Georgia when it comes to like the wide receivers that they're able to get. They get some good ones. They never seem to get any great ones. They got a good running game and a good defense, but the quarterback play really has been holding them back.
Yeah,
and Georgia was that way for a long time. I mean, the whole time we had Jake Fromm, a lot of years before that. It doesn't make you a bad. I mean, like I was talking about this the other day. It's really hard to go. I mean, it's really easy to go from like 5 wins to 10 wins. I don't know if it's really easy, but it's a lot easier to go from 5 wins to 10 wins than it is to go from 10 to 12, because there's a lot of crap to wade through to get from 5 to 10 wins. To get from 10 to 12, you got to beat legitimate fucking teams, and that's hard to do.
Yep. I mean, all last year you would see like the statistics of how bad Franklin is against top 10 teams, and it's true for the most part. I mean, he beat Ohio State his 3rd year. They won the Big Ten. Everyone was happy. It's kumbaya the whole time. And then he hasn't like expanded on that in the last like 7 years.
Yeah.
And we're just like waiting on it. We're losing to Minnesota and Michigan State and all these like not great teams. when we're ranked really high, and it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, our problem with Sean Clifford, well, at least my problem with him was he could move the ball in these games against Ohio State, but then he turned the ball over 3 times and we'd lose the game.
Yeah.
Drew, you just watch him, and the Ohio State game, the West Virginia game gave me too much confidence because he threw for 300 yards and whatever. And then there are certain games he struggled. It was Iowa, Illinois, and whatever. And then they play Ohio State. He can't even move the ball. It was just him overthrowing receivers. Receivers can't get open. The play calling was terrible also.
Against who? Ohio State?
Oh, against Ohio State, they scored
the Michigan game. The Michigan game is the worst thing I've ever seen from Penn State.
The Michigan game was bad. I was there.
That looked like a group of 11 random people that they picked out of a crowd and said, y'all are playing offense against Michigan today. I mean, that was horrible.
Yeah, I was there watching it, and there's plays where Drew is under pressure or just throws the ball, and the receivers aren't even in the area at all.
Y'all couldn't complete a fucking pass. I mean, it was hard to watch.
He couldn't at all. He was 10 of 25 for 70 yards or something.
When I see a team play that bad, that's when it becomes hard to blame just the players. That was some sort of preparation failure, a game plan failure, play calling failure, something. You can't have that many high-level football players and look that bad just because the players are bad. So that was a lot of that was on the coaching in that game because Michigan didn't play great either. Offensively, defensively, Penn State played fine. Now that's kind of been their story, but I mean, you hold a team to 20 points, you got to fucking win. And look, like I said, maybe the reason I don't know, maybe the reason I talk so much about Penn State is because they remind me so much of what Georgia was a decade ago. I mean, I don't know how long you've been around this channel, but I used to bang my head against the fucking wall watching Georgia try to play offensive football. Offensively, Georgia was offensive to me. And it's aggravating to watch the same thing over and over and over and over, and the defense is out here holding teams to 20 or 24 points. I'm sorry, this is not 1970.
Nope.
If you give up 20 points, you should win 99% of the time. I mean, it's not as bad as Iowa.
Iowa's horrible. We beat them 31-0, and we're even,
but
competitive.
I'm telling you, just a quarterback will make a big difference at Penn State.
Oh, the problem though is Franklin and the staff have shown really no ability to develop high caliber quarterbacks.
Well, that's fine. You better go to Kentucky route then. Go get one that's already been developed.
Yeah, they might have to start doing that.
Why isn't what's the guy from Duke?
Riley Leonard.
Why isn't he at Penn State? Why isn't Cam Ward at Penn State? Why isn't fill in the blank transfer QB at Penn State? If you can't develop one, fine. Don't try. Go get one. I mean, I'm not saying Kentucky's winning SEC titles, but they've got better quarterback play now than they did when they tried to recruit and develop their own. And maybe that's what Penn State needs to do. I don't know. I'm not an expert on Penn State. I couldn't tell you really what they do in the portal. I know they brought a few players in last season through the portal. I don't know. So I don't know how active they are there. I don't know. But if Drew Aller doesn't get a lot better, then the end of the season results for Penn State aren't going to get any better because you're not getting any better defensively. You can't really. You're not getting any better at the running back position. You could improve at wide receiver, but so could Georgia. Georgia could improve at wide receiver too, but they make it up in other places. Penn State, for whatever reason, hasn't been able to do that. And I know Penn State has to play Ohio State and Michigan every year. Okay, well, Georgia's got a few hurdles they have to manage to get over every year too. And do they do it every year? No. But they do it enough.
No. I mean, it's just like we bring in some transfers, but like there's people in this fan base that I'm sure it's like you with Georgia too, where they believe that Drew is like none of this is his fault. Everything's the offensive coordinator's fault.
Right.
Everything's the receiver's fault.
Yeah.
It's the O-line's fault. And there's other people that think he wouldn't even start at like Temple, basically.
Yeah, but
Like,
look, there's Georgia fans right now that would staple their bottom lip to Jake Fromm's taint if he asked them to. Like you can't tell him anything about, you know. Meanwhile, the guy was a half melted bowl of vanilla ice cream and got worse every single year he was at UGA. You know, while Justin Fields twiddled his thumbs on the bench, and the only thing they say is, "Oh yeah, well Justin Fields has a bunch of interceptions in the NFL." You know who doesn't have a lot of interceptions in the NFL? Jack Fromm. You know why? Can't get on the fucking field.
Yep. I mean, we won a Big Ten title with a 3-star quarterback and Trace McSorley. It wasn't supposed to be any good. And then you have Drew Aller and Sean Clifford, who were Sean was like a 4-star and like Drew's a 5, and we can't like win any meaningful games. So it's like,
well, look,
fault
I get it with the 3-star deal. Stetson Bennett was a walk-on and we won 2 national titles. I promise you that doesn't mean that Georgia is out scouring the globe for walk-on quarterbacks. That's dumb luck. That's all that is.
Yeah.
Kirby, James Franklin, any other college football coach on the planet would take any 4 or 5-star QB over any walk-on, period.
Oh,
that doesn't mean that every 4 and 5-star is going to be better than every walk-on, but you have to operate on the percentages here. What percentage of walk-on quarterbacks go on to win national championships? Less than 1%. Now, a lot of 4 and 5-stars don't win national championship either, but the percentage is higher. I mean, you know, so this gets back to, this is like the whole, you know, recruiting don't matter thing. Star ranking don't matter. Yeah, right. Right. That's why every school that finishes in the top 10 every single year spends millions of dollars a year on scouting and recruiting, because star rankings don't matter. Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why 80% of 5-star players get drafted, 60% of 4-star players get drafted, and about 5% of 3-star players get drafted, and less than 1% of walk-ons get drafted because star ratings don't matter.
I mean, Penn State's been recruiting in the top 10, 15. Ohio State's recruiting in the top 5.
Right, and Penn State finishes in the top 10 or 15. So it's not like, look, Penn State's not some massively underachieving program. That's Texas A&M. That's what massively underachieving looks like. Penn State is just basically winning the games they're supposed to win and losing the games they're supposed to lose. Now, they got to get over that hump. I don't want, you know, at some point you got to beat a Michigan or an Ohio State. But like you said, they're recruiting in the top 15. They're finishing in the top 15. I mean, they're playing par right now. To win a national title, they're going to need a couple of birdies here and there, mainly against Michigan and Ohio State. Now, who do they play this year? Who do they play? Do they play both of them or none of them?
They just play Ohio State. They don't play Michigan.
Where do they play Ohio State? At home.
At home.
Okay.
I think they're at West Virginia. They're at Wisconsin. They're at USC.
At who?
At USC and
right.
at Wisconsin.
All right. That's all. That's one loss I hear there. I hear one loss there. Who else do they play?
And then their only other meaningful games kind of are like home against Washington and like home against UCLA, which should be
those are both wins. So what are the road games? All right, let's assume you lose to Ohio State. I know you ain't trying to hear it. Maybe you beat them. Great. It's a home game. You got
I'm
a
not
shot.
picking them.
Ohio State will be a big favorite. Let's say you lose that game. All right. What are the other games that are possibly losable? Now, I don't think you're losing to UCLA at home. I don't think where do you play Wisconsin?
At Wisconsin, I believe.
All right, that's a possible loss. Now, I think Penn State can win that game, but it's possible Wisconsin takes a step forward in year 2 with Fickle, and you have to play there. So that's at least a possibility. Who else on the road?
West Virginia in week 1.
No, you'll beat the brakes off of them.
We should.
Yeah,
I mean,
so that's ain't nobody don't give a shit what did Doodoo Brown won 7 games last year. All that did what all Doodoo Brown winning 7 or 8 games, whatever the hell it was last year at West Virginia. All that did was set West Virginia back 3 years because now they can't fire his ass. That's all it did. He's not a good coach. They're not a good program. You'll win that game.
Yep.
So at Wisconsin, who else on the road?
At USC.
You should win that one. First year starter at quarterback. Now, track record says he's going to be really, really good because he's a Lincoln Riley quarterback, but don't know that 100% for certain. And here's the thing. The Southern Cal fans are going to say, Lincoln Riley's always got a good quarterback. I'm sure he'll be great. Then they'll turn around and go, I know he's always had a bad defense, but not this year. Well, what do you mean? You can't prop up Miller Moss by telling me how good Lincoln Riley's quarterbacks have been in the past and then tell me it doesn't matter that his defense has been in the toilet every year since football was invented. Which is it? You should win that game at Southern Cal. There'll be 9 people there. They don't give a fuck about football out there. They're giving away tickets right now. They're going to do the thing where they cover the top of the stadium up with a tarp. They don't care.
There might be more Penn State fans there than USC fans. You never know. I mean, USC went 7-5, and they had Caleb Williams last year. So
hello? Yes. Yes. Facts. So you might go 10-2. Maybe you beat Wisconsin, drop somewhere else. I don't know. But if you go 10-2, you're getting in the playoffs. I don't know if you'll play for the Big Ten title. Actually, if you go 10-2, you're better off not playing for the Big Ten title.
Yeah, you got an extra game. So
I mean, honestly, this is sad that it's gotten to this point, but if this goes for any team in the country, if you finish the regular season 10-2, you better hope you're not in your conference championship game. That's all I can tell you. You better hope you're not in it, because if you are and you lose, you're out. And whereas if you just sit home that day, like Notre Dame, then maybe you get in at 10-2. It's either that or you make your conference championship game at 10-2 and take another beating at the hands of Ohio State. You don't want that, do you?
Nope. I mean, I've had enough for, we lost last 7. So
that's what I'm saying. Losing to Ohio State once per season is enough for you, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you don't need to be losing to them twice. Shit. Now I don't know anything about that. Georgia's never lost to them, so all we do is beat Ohio State. Oh, how about this? Now, I know James Franklin used to coach at Vandy. Vandy's in the SEC. Is there anything against the Big Ten rules? Is there anything in the Big Ten rules that would prevent? I know Penn State's funny about their uniforms, right? This is our uniforms, and we don't care. And yeah, it's just a white helmet that we borrowed from a recreation league. I get all that. Is there anything in the Big Ten rules that would prevent Penn State from putting an SEC sticker on their helmet when they play Ohio State?
There might be, but we'd be willing to try that.
Because honestly, that's the key to victory. Right now. That's the key. When that game comes around and you see all these dillweeds on the internet doing the keys to victory, and the quarterback's got to avoid this, and they need this many yards rushing, and they need to sack Will Howard. No. Keys to victory. Penn State keys to victory. Put SEC sticker on helmet. That's it.
There you go.
That's it.
That's like their kryptonite, man.
They might not even get off the fucking bus if they find that out.
Yep. Man.
All right, buddy. Good luck to the Nittany Lions in that, and to and also. Yeah. Thank you for the call. I don't know how I became the official Penn State defender. I'm not defending Penn State. Penn State is what they are. They're the third best program in the Big Ten, and they lose to the best 2 programs every year. And they need to get over that hump. I don't know what else to tell you. Good morning, and 2.
Lou, what's up, man?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Hey, man, I wanted to get on right after goddamn Octavian, man. That dude is such a 5-star dummy that he's a 5-star caller. You know?
Yeah, he is. He's both. He might be the first person in history that's a 5-star caller and a 5-star dummy every single time he calls in.
Every single time he calls.
That's a good point. That's funny. You know what I ought to do? You know how they make reversible clothing?
Yeah.
I ought to get Octavian a shirt that says five-star caller,
shirt?
five-star caller on one side, and then he can take it off, turn it inside out, wear it the other way, and it says five-star dummy, depending on how fucking stupid he is from day to day.
Man, I got 2 words for him, man. Trevor Etienne. How about that?
Yeah, he trying to hear that.
Yeah, man. So I got a couple of off-season questions for you, Lou, man. See if we can't get us some interesting topics going, man. Do you ever keep a list of like your top 5 dogs or your top 3 Georgia coaches or top 5 Georgia coaches all the time? Do you ever keep it?
Never all time. I sometimes talk about some of like players within my lifetime or since I really started paying close attention to college football, which would have been like the mid to late 90s. But like some of my favorite Georgia players during my lifetime, Aaron Murray.
I love Aaron Murray, man.
Rennie Curran. You remember Rennie Curran?
Oh, I never remember Rennie Curran. Linebacker. Yeah.
Now, I'm always kind of drawn to undersized players because I was undersized. No, I never played in college. I played through high school, but I was a little teeny thing. And so whenever I see like anybody undersized excel at a high level like that, I'm like, yeah, see, small people can do it too. So Rennie Curran, Aaron Murray, Noshawn Moreno was I liked him. Michael Bennett. I don't know how old you are. Do you remember Michael Bennett, wide receiver from back in the day? Now he was not the fastest. He wasn't the tallest. He couldn't jump the highest. He wasn't the best at anything. But if you needed 6 fucking yards, he found a way to make a 7-yard catch. It seemed like every third down. He was the most reliable like third down receiver that I've ever seen.
That was a hell of a receiving core. We had him. Mike Conley was on that receiving core. It was we had probably about 3 or 4 like damn good dogs on that receiving core, man.
Leonard Floyd is on my list. I would take Leonard Floyd. There's not a Georgia team in history that I wouldn't replace one of the outside linebackers with Leonard Floyd. If you told me like if I could make a fantasy Georgia team, he would be the first outside linebacker. I would take Leonard Floyd every day of the week. So I don't know if it's not necessarily like a top 3 or a top 5 or anything like that, but yeah, I do have like my favorite players over the years. Sometimes Rodrigo Blankenship, he's at the top of my list.
Hot Rod got to be the kicker, man.
And it's not always the best players.
In Georgia history.
Famous what?
He might be the most famous kicker in Georgia history. Even over Kevin Butler.
Yeah. I think he's better than he ended up with a higher field goal percentage than Kevin Butler. Kevin Butler's got the famous kick in the 1980 season against was it Clemson? I can't remember. He kicked a 60-yarder or whatever it was. But Rodrigo's got the record for the longest field goal in Rose Bowl history. Yeah, Rose Bowl history. Propel Georgia to their first ever playoff win. So they both have like iconic kicks. And Hot Rod ended his career with a higher made percentage than Kevin Butler did. So he
ended his career like as the leader in Georgia. Mm-hmm. Then what's the name? Broke that like the next Pod broke that like the next year.
Yeah, Hot
Rod the Hot Pod.
Yeah.
Hey man, matter of fact, man, congratulations, Lou. See your Patriots won a championship today.
Yeah, West Side, back to back. So Georgia not able to pull off the three-peat in college football, but my high school was able to successfully pull off the three-peat. They won their 3rd state championship in a row today. Beat Toombs County. So shout out to the West Side like Patriots. Blue Funk,
had like damn near 50-point lead on them boys, man.
Blue Funk, let's go. West Side. Yeah. Blue Funk, bitch.
What's crazy is I can't believe that this team is better than the teams that y'all had in the 90s. Like, y'all only got 1 championship out of those teams. I thought y'all would get way more out of that.
Oh, man. You know what? I haven't seen this team play, but that team back then, holy shit.
Man, I'll never forget.
Now, they had 2 NBA players on that team.
Most of you callers ain't going to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. If there's any NBA, I don't know if there's any NBA players on West Side's team now. I don't know. There was 2 on that team in the 90s, though.
Oh, yeah. Ricky and William A. Matter of fact, Ndu Ezekiel was on that team. I think he ended up playing in the league.
He was good too. Yeah.
Man, listen, you remember that game y'all played against Thompson in the Augusta State?
I was there. Yeah, I was there.
Bro, I was there too, Lou, man. I'm talking about that double, triple overtime. Something. Probably the best high school game I've ever seen and ever will see.
Oh, that's the biggest basketball game in Augusta, Georgia history, and nothing else is even close.
There was so many
Montego Cummings
on that court,
yeah, there was 3 or 4 NBA players. You had Montego Cummings at Thompson. Yeah, that was a hell of a game. Hell of a game.
Hell of a game. Man, my girls lost today though. Josie, the girls lost.
Oh no.
Yeah, man.
They always have a good team. They were good back when I was in high school.
Yeah, they've been good forever.
Yeah.
But they lost today. So I mean, but at least Augusta got us a trophy today, man. So
somebody in Augusta, some kind of documentary filmmaker should really make a documentary about that 95-96 West Side basketball team, because it's a crazy story. And then you had the 2-3 NBA players, and then 3 years later, 2 of those players, William Avery and Ricky Moore, played against each other
in the national championship
game in college. William Avery was at Duke. Ricky Moore was at UConn. It's just a crazy.
Ricky had a hell of a game, man.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. You know, they grew up together. They were friends and all that. Played on the same high school team and won the state
got
title.
A park
and
named
then
after them out there, man.
Yeah. What it used to be? A Big Oak Park.
Yeah,
out there by Tut
Park, right?
Yeah, down around the corner from Tut Middle School, which, by the way, they are tearing down. Man, that hurts my feelings.
Have you seen the plans for what the hell is going on with the Richmond County school system?
I don't know, man.
They're getting rid of all the schools and moving schools to here. They're getting rid of CT Walker, all kind of crazy.
I went to John M. Tut Middle School, and now they're tearing it down.
Yeah, man,
they've already tore down my elementary school.
One more pitch out there, man.
Yeah, I went to National Hills Elementary. They've got rid of that. Damn. Now they're getting rid of my middle school. What's next?
Yeah, man. Well, I went to Josie, man. They moving us to Murphy. It's getting crazy, man. Yeah. I'm kind of upset about all the things going. It's kind of like, hey, man, Richmond County Board of Education is treating the Augusta residents like the NCAA is treating college football fans.
Damn.
We ain't got shit left, Lou.
That's bad.
We down bad, Lou.
Yeah. Thank God the basketball here is good, because the football in the Augusta area is a joke.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be really good. I mean, Laney's still pretty good, and Westside has some good teams every now and then.
Yeah.
But the football used to be good. It used to be, Richmond had a good team, Josie, Laney, Westside, but now it's just Laney and Westside. If Laney and Westside are terrible, then the whole city's terrible.
Yeah.
But the baseball and the basketball is always gonna be good. I'm talking about girls and boys basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, Lou, man, I'll let you get. I just want to take you down a stroll down memory lane real quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up about Westside, because I meant to mention that. But yeah, thank you for the call, buddy. It was good to hear from you. Yeah, shout out. What? Oh, yeah, shout out to Westside High School. Here in Augusta, Uncle Lou's old stomping grounds, and that won a state title when I was there, and now they've won 3 in a row in basketball, which is amazing. Good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though.
Hey, Lou, how's it going?
Going good, buddy.
How are your basketball bets going?
I'm 2-1 today, and I've got another game that comes on at 11, so there's no way I'm losing money today. I'm either going to go 3-1 and make money, or 2-2 and break even. But I'm up for the week, so no matter what happens today, I'm still up for the week. And I'm up 4 weeks in a row now, so I'm on an absolute heater.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm on an absolute heater.
I'm not a big basketball bettor, but I did bet. It cashed for me last night. I bet futures for Tennessee to win the SEC, and I had to sweat it out their last 3. But we pulled it out last night, luckily.
Yeah, I took Tennessee -5.5 yesterday, and they tried to screw around at the end. South Carolina, they had the lead, and South Carolina was fouling them late in the game, and Tennessee missed a couple of free throws, and I was like, that's going to end up, they're going to win by 5 now.
That dude dunked it. That dude dunked it. That saved you then. Because that guy, South Carolina kid, dunked it, but I think the buzzer went off right before he did.
Yeah, so that ended up paying Lou, which was great.
But so I had a few different questions for you. But one, before the season started, the schedules came out. Remember when they were doing the thing where certain schools would play the 3 same school? Like, say Tennessee, they would play Alabama, Kentucky, say Vanderbilt, and they played those 3 schools every year, and then the rest were random.
Well,
that
was gonna be if they went to 9 conference games, but they did away with that.
Oh, so that's dead. Because
Yeah.
I thought we were done playing Georgia after last year, like this previous season. But so that's not a thing anymore.
Who was done playing Georgia?
Like Tennessee. Before the schedules came out for this upcoming season, I thought last season would be the last season in Tennessee.
Yeah, if we'd have gone to a 9-game schedule, Tennessee would not have played Georgia this year, most likely.
But so that's the 9-game schedule is not happening anymore.
No.
Oh, okay. That's
not this year. This is a 1-year deal. That's it. They weren't able to agree on anything beyond this season, so we don't know anybody's schedule for next season.
Okay, I got.
Now we can assume some things, like maybe it's safe to assume that since Georgia's playing at Texas this year, then maybe Texas plays at Georgia next year or Oklahoma plays at Georgia. But we don't know. It's all guesswork at this point. They weren't able to agree. Half the league wanted 9 conference games, half wanted 8. They weren't able to agree on anything, so they kept it at 8, and they did just a 1-year deal. So that's it. We don't know anything about the SEC schedule past the 2024 season right now.
Okay. So only other thing I found out about it today, but I guess it's kind of old news. So I'm from the Atlanta area, but I live in Knoxville. But my parents told me they live in Alpharetta, Cumming area.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that they're trying to get a hockey team back in Georgia? And I'm confused because I don't know. I'm sure you remember the Thrashers and how poorly that went.
Yeah.
You think another hockey team coming back to Georgia will do well?
I really don't know. Probably not, but I mean, I don't know. I don't watch any hockey. I don't keep up with hockey, so I mean, I don't really have I don't have a clue really how that would do in Atlanta, other than how it did before, which obviously was not good enough to keep the team there.
Right. Okay. And my last thing for you is, I think Tennessee's got one of the probably upper tier receiver rooms in the SEC this upcoming season. What do you think about that? Would you say that's fair, or is that ridiculous?
Well, I'd like to see Brew McCoy run and make a catch.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if we'll see that this spring. Maybe I wish him. I hope he full recovery and all that, but I'd be shocked if we see anything from him in the spring. So we're probably going to head into the season not really knowing much about Brew McCoy other than what Josh Heupel chooses to tell us. And unfortunately, nothing against Josh Heupel. All coaches are this way. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to believe anything Josh Heupel tells me about Brew. If Josh Heupel comes out a month before the season starts and says Brew McCoy's 100%, I'm not going to believe that. And if he comes out a month before the season starts and tells me I don't think Brew McCoy is going to be ready to play week 1, I'm not going to believe that either. I don't believe anything coaches tell me about injuries in college. So until I see Brew McCoy play, I'm not convinced. Right. I don't know one way or the other. But Tennessee will have good receivers. They got the other guy. What's the other? What's that animal's name?
Squirrel White.
Squirrel White. I like him. Yeah, I like him. I mean, it's going to come down to Nico. If is Nico Hendon Hooker or is he Joe Milton? That's it. That's what it is. I mean, Tennessee's not going to score 20 more points with Nico than they did with anyone else. I mean, Tennessee scores 40 points a game. The defense is the problem. You got to stop giving up. You play Georgia, you give up 30, score 13. That's not going to work.
Right. They're putting so much. I think Nico is going to be good. I don't know about this upcoming season. I mean, I expect him to be better than Joe Milton, but there's so much pressure put on this kid to come in and produce right away.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Milton wasn't great, but he had 6 years of experience.
Right.
Nico's got 0. So I would expect some interceptions. I would expect some missed reads. I would expect some happy feet. And that's got nothing to do with me thinking Nico's good or bad. That's any first-year starter. There are certain things you just can expect from a first-year starter, regardless of how good they end up being.
Right.
A couple of poor decisions, some interceptions you wish you could get back, happy feet. And I saw a lot of that in that first game, standing in the pocket, not knowing what to do with the ball, but
the only reason we looked so good on the scoreboard that game is because Iowa couldn't get out of their own damn way on offense. It was terrible to watch.
Right. So you're getting, on average, 3 more possessions against Iowa than you get against any other random team you play.
Well, I think
because
we had
they've
3
got no
defensive
offense.
touchdowns
Yeah.
in that game alone.
Right. Yeah. And Nico ran for, whatever it was, 2 or 3 scores. Now, most of them were like 5-yard, inside the 10-yard line deals or whatever. And I think he had the 1 touchdown pass. But just throwing the ball, there really was nothing impressive about Nico in that game. Now, I know Iowa does have a good defense. That's true. Iowa's got a better defense than at least half the teams Tennessee will play next year. At least half. I'd have to go through the schedule. There'll be a handful, maybe, with better defenses than Iowa. But Iowa does legitimately have a good defense. So that was a tough test for Nico. And so if you want to grade it on a curve, I get that, because his first start and he's playing a top 10, top 5 defense. Okay, fair. But don't tell me he looked like the next Peyton Manning. Like, he didn't. He didn't blow anybody away throwing the ball. Not a soul. He just didn't. Now, now maybe that's because Iowa's got a great defense, and that would be understandable. First start against Iowa. But some of the reactions from Tennessee people about Nico were just way over the top. But here's the thing. Look, I've been there. I remember when Jacob Eason came in at Georgia, and that's basically what's happening at Tennessee now. It's a Jacob Eason situation. It's a 5-star quarterback. He's going to save the planet. That's what's going on at Tennessee. Nico ain't making no tackles. Nico ain't covering nobody else's wide receivers. Nico ain't sacking the other team's quarterback. There is, it's not a one-man fix deal. I mean,
well, I think from a Tennessee perspective, I can say that during the Hendon was there too. So 2022 was the first year where we kind of started to see Hendon take off, and then 23 when we beat Alabama, that was about the peak. And we knew Joe.
Well, 22 is when you beat Alabama. 23 you lost to Alabama.
Oh, right. Yeah. So 21 was like when you started to see it. 22 was the peak where you saw how great we can be. And then when you knew Joe Milton coming in, you're like, okay, we just got to get through the year. We're going to fall off, but hopefully it's not as bad as it was. And I think we're just so hungry for that, like you said, that quarterback to come in and take us back to where we were. When we see like him play against Iowa, we're just like, oh, it's the next Jesus Christ on the field.
Yeah,
because you see that little spark.
I mean, I think it's realistic for Tennessee fans to look at what they have coming back, look at the potential that Nico has, look at their schedule, and then look at a 12-team playoff and say to themselves, we could get in there. And they could.
Right.
Because now, can Tennessee go 12-0? No. They're not good enough. Would Tennessee make a 4-team playoff this season? No. They wouldn't. But we don't have a 4-team playoff. We have a 12-team. Here, if Tennessee beats Oklahoma on the road, they could be headed to the playoffs.
I think that is the make or break game for our season. I mean, I know Georgia, Alabama, those are bigger games down the road, but I think that OU game to start the year, because it's, I believe, the 3rd or 4th game.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you beat Oklahoma, you can lose to Georgia and Bama.
Right, yeah.
As long as you don't stumble to anybody else. But, the win totals are out. Oklahoma's expected to win 7 games.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Well, that means if Tennessee goes there and loses, they're probably going 8-4.
8-4, 9-3 kind of thing.
If they beat Oklahoma, especially if they beat them by a couple of scores, then you can look down the rest of Tennessee's schedule and go, okay, we might lose it on the road in Athens. We might lose at home to Bama. But I don't see many more losses. And if you're 10-2, you got a chance of getting in. I mean, it obviously depends what everybody else's record is and all that kind of stuff. I get that. But in general, I think, if you're in the SEC or the Big Ten especially, if you get to 10-2, I think there's a better chance you make the playoffs than you don't make them.
Yeah, and I mean, remember when you did your top 4 for each conference? I definitely agreed where you put Tennessee, that kind of 4, 5, 6, that kind of range. And I definitely agree with you that I think if you're 10-2, say Tennessee's 10-2, and you got like Georgia at 11-1 or Texas 11-1, Ole Miss 11-1, it's way better for us to sit at home and let that conference game happen rather than catch that loss.
Yeah,
because you could probably still sneak in.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how that works the first couple of years. Like, how many in a 4-team playoff? It's easy to write it off, like Georgia last year, right? 12-0, right? They're in the playoffs if the bus breaks down on the way to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're in. They were ranked number 1. They were undefeated. They had won back-to-back national titles. If Georgia's bus breaks down on the way to Atlanta, they're in the playoffs. Instead, the bus doesn't break down. They play the game. They lose. They're out. That's easy to write that off in a 4-team deal because you can say, well, only 4 teams get in. You had a chance. You didn't. In a 12-team playoff, it's not so easy to write that off. And it's going to put the committee in some tough spots. So let's say you got 2 teams at the end of the year who are tied at 10-2 and a team that's 11-1. So an 11-1 team is playing a 10-2 team in the SEC title game. There's another 10-2 team that's sitting home. If that 10-2 team loses in the SEC title game, does the 10-2 team that sat at home and didn't have to play get in over that 3-loss team that only has the 3rd loss because they had to play an additional game? It's going to put the committee in some interesting situations, and I'm curious to see how they handle that. Do they? I'm just curious to see how that works. There's going to be some teams who appear to be headed towards the playoffs and then lose a conference championship game, get left out, and then teams that didn't even make the conference championship game are going to get in. And it's just going to be interesting to see how all that works.
Well, I would definitely say what's most likely, the easiest thing to point at is say that team loses by 3 or they lose by 30.
That's true too. Yes, that's also true. I think it also matters is let's say those 2 10-2 teams, you got an 11-1 team, they're in the conference title game. Let's say you got 2 teams that are 10-2. Did they play each other during the regular season?
Yeah.
Because if they did, obviously the winner has that over the loser. And this is why I don't think a 10-2 Notre Dame should make the college football playoff. This is why. I don't think.
But
because if a 10-2 Notre Dame team had to play Florida State or Clemson or just name the team in the ACC championship game and lost, is a 3-loss Notre Dame team getting in? Probably not.
Right.
So, Notre Dame's going to be rewarded in some instances for not playing a 13th game, while other teams are going to be punished because they played a 13th game. And there's really no way around that. I'm not saying it's the wrong way to do it. It's just interesting that there's going to be, and not just Notre Dame, there's going to be other teams that don't play a 13th game because they're 3rd in their conference. They're 10-2, they're 3rd in their conference, so they don't play a conference championship game. And they're going to get in, whereas some team that lost the conference championship game is going to get left out. It's just going to be interesting to see how they handle that in the era of a 12-team playoff.
Right. Well, it could definitely get nuts. Say, if you say, for example, take like Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and say Georgia or any scenario where the team that's left out beats the team that wins the whole thing by like 10, and the team that lost, the best way I know to put it is say Tennessee gets left out. They beat Alabama at home by 20. Georgia and Alabama play, and Georgia beats Alabama, but Tennessee lost to Georgia. But Tennessee's at home. They all 3 have the same record.
Yeah.
Then it's a mess because they've all 3 beaten each other, and you're just sitting there looking at it, and it's just a shit show.
What if Texas is 11-1 and Georgia and Bama are both 10-2, but Georgia and Bama play in the regular season? Let's say Georgia beats Bama in the regular season, but they both end 10-2, and Texas is 11-1. Well, you got Georgia and Texas in the SEC title game. If Texas wins, that would be Georgia's 3rd loss. Bama would only have 2 losses, but one of their losses was to Georgia. Do they put Bama in ahead of Georgia? It's going to be curious to see how they handle it. Hey, thank you for the call. I'm going to have to move on to the next one, but here's the thing. I used to get irritated every single season around the middle of November because by that point we've spent like 6 weeks talking about what seems like never-ending playoff scenarios. Well, what if this happens, and what if that happens, and what if that team beats this team in the last week of the season, and what if this team loses? And it seems like it's just a never-ending cycle. That was trying to figure out just 4 teams. Now we got to do that with 12 teams. So I can't wait till halfway through the season when we get to the never-ending playoff scenarios. That'll be absolutely amazing. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Listening to Octavian is like listening to the black version of Lance and Jasper.
Oh man, dang, Lance and Jasper. Hopefully Octavian lives longer than that.
Yeah, so I know Lance has got a drug problem, so
I don't know anything about that, but I think he's either dead or in prison. I don't know which.
That's right. I want to see what your thoughts were on the Illinois offense this coming up year. What do you think about it?
I don't have any thoughts on Illinois' offense. I can't remember the last time they had one.
That's true. They're like Iowa. They got a good defense and a terrible offense.
Yeah, 2 years ago especially, they had a top 5 defense. It dropped off a little last year, but I mean, they got Brett Bielema, and the guy knows what he's doing. I mean, he was at Wisconsin for a long time. He can win some games, but the problem with him at Illinois is he's not going to be able to get well, we'll see. I don't know what Illinois' NIL situation is, but like generally speaking, you're not going to get the type of player to Illinois that you get, say, to Wisconsin. So it's going to be harder for him there. And now the Big Ten is getting harder with the addition of 4 more teams. So, I mean, it's hard to imagine Illinois putting any kind of run together to try to win the Big Ten right now.
The Fighting Illini. That's just fun to say for some reason.
Yeah. Shout out to the Engines.
Well, if you go on Twitter after the show's over, don't be alarmed, but Lincoln Riley is trending on there. And the reason why is because Joe Biden accidentally said Lincoln Riley in his State of the Union address instead of saying Laken Riley, which was that lady that died at UGA. So everybody's freaking out thinking Lincoln Riley's dead.
Oh. No, he's not dead. He just doesn't care about defense. Hey, thank you for the call. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah, so first of all, I don't know what Octavian's been smoking, obviously. Well, the last caller said about Lance and Jasper. I was literally thinking about him earlier today, actually. I wonder what happened to that guy.
I have no idea. I mean, my guesses are that he's either dead or in prison, but I don't know that to be true.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time he was even on. Anyway, I've gotten in some fights with some other South Carolina fans over Shane Beamer, because there are these people that have said, well, there've only been 3 of them that said it, but there have been these people who have said that they said Muschamp was better than Beamer, and they point out that Muschamp had a better record in his first 3 years, but Beamer's had a tougher schedule. Muschamp had more talent, and Beamer's taken over at a much tougher time.
Well, South Carolina's been playing the same schedule for 20 years. So
I don't know. I mean, it's a lot tougher now. I mean, Muschamp, his team was loaded. We're always not loaded, but like, they had more talent than Beamer has.
Coaches are judged on wins and losses. I mean, unless the win-loss record is really, really close, then a coach with a higher winning percentage is a better coach. Unless it's really, really close, then maybe you say, well, he's got this or that. But I mean, if one guy wins 80%, if I tell you Coach A wins 80% of his games and Coach B wins 60% of his games, which coach do you want? If that's all the information you have.
Can you say that again?
If I tell you Coach A wins 80% of his games and Coach B wins 60% of his games, which coach do you want?
Obviously, Coach A.
Yeah.
But still, Beamer's had Muschamp in his 5 years had 3 wins over ranked teams. Beamer's already had 3. Had a blowout win over number 5 Tennessee. He beat Clemson. Muschamp could never do that. He's 2-1 against Kentucky. Muschamp only beat Kentucky once. Now, one thing I can say is Muschamp went 3-1 against Missouri. Beamer's currently 0-3. So there's that, but still, I mean, they've got the same record against Florida, and hopefully Beamer's will be better. But still, I don't think Beamer's any worse than Muschamp. I still have faith in Beamer, and I'm not saying that they're fake fans for not liking Beamer. I'm just saying that, I mean, I'm just saying they're stupid. I mean, one of them's this stupid kid who pisses me off. He converted. I'm not joking when I tell you this. I can't remember who we lost to, but he converted to being a Georgia Tech fan for a period of time. Flipped his page to Yellow Jackets country. course, then after the season, he comes and says it was all a joke. But still, I don't care. I mean, it hurt his account, luckily. What an idiot. Anyway, I appreciate you letting me call it in.
All right, buddy. Yeah, it was good to hear from you. And that's not always the case. So that's good today for you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Oh, what's going on, Uncle Lou? How are you?
Good.
I just got a quick question. I just want to hear your thoughts about this. I'm a big Georgia fan myself, and all my friends talk about like crazy takes. So, would you agree on? This is a weird take, but would 2014 be Mark Richt's most disappointing Georgia team? You think? I mean, probably the early 2000s. You can probably say that, but
2008.
That's a good one.
2008, Georgia had the best
2014
2008, Georgia had the best team in the country. Period. End of story. But they did what Mark Richt always does. They lost to a below 500 South Carolina team and a not very good Tennessee team in the first 5 weeks of the season, and it didn't matter how good they were the rest of the way. They beat everybody they played by 40 points after that. Florida, whoever else, blew them out. Georgia would have beat anybody in the country in December and January. But Mark Richt shit to bed, per usual, against two bad teams. And that was it. And I'm not saying Georgia deserved to win the national. They didn't. Back then, we didn't even have a playoff back then. Georgia wouldn't even have made a playoff back then. They didn't even make the SEC title game. But they were the best team in the country. And they shit to bed against two bad teams.
When you're saying 2008, were you talking about what loss you said we had in 2008?
Was it 2008 or 2007? Am I getting the year wrong? Somebody correct me if I'm getting the year wrong.
2008, that's the year we got blown against Alabama.
No, 2007, the year before that then. Yeah, because then in 2008, we were ranked number 1 in the preseason because because of how we ended 2007. I mean, we beat everybody we played by a million the last 8 games of the year, whatever it was. But we shit to bed against two pitiful, piss-poor, pathetic, terrible fucking teams in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, whatever it was, and nothing after that mattered. That was the most disappointing. You're talking about a coach, Mark Richt, who had Matthew Stafford at quarterback, A.J. Green at wide receiver, and no Sean Moreno at running back, and couldn't even win the fucking East.
I mean, with I was talking about 2014 with that Georgia Tech game where Mark Richt called that pooch kickoff, and then that set up Georgia Tech for that field goal, put the overtime. Michael Bennett, my grandpa talked to him, and Michael Bennett told him Mark Richt called him and Hudson Mason, Todd Gurley, like eating downtown. He said it was on me. I'm like, you still blew the game, coach. I mean,
what game are you talking about? Georgia Tech in 2015?
2014. That's when we had Hudson Mason.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It's just, I don't know. I wish Mark Richt won, but I mean,
Mark Richt had 5 teams good enough to win a national title, and he won 0.
I know.
So, I mean, not very many coaches can say that, and that's not a good thing.
It is what it is. I'm satisfied.
Most coaches would kill. Yeah. Thank you for the call. That was amazing and unbelievable. Most coaches would kill for one team good enough to contend for a national title. Mark Richt had 5 and won 0. Never even played for one. Really only came close once, and that was in 2012. So, it's hard to talk about Mark Richt for a couple of different reasons. Number one, he was a good coach. I mean, he averaged 10 wins a year for 15 years in the SEC. I don't care who you are or where you coach at. That's good. Okay? But there is a difference. How many good coaches are there in the history of college football? A lot. How many great coaches are there? Not many. Mark Richt was not a great coach. It's hard to talk about Mark Richt now because he's ill, he's sick, and I hate that. And he got the whole, he's a good person deal, which I could care less about, be honest with you. I mean, was Bear Bryant a good person? No. But he won 3 or 4 real natties and 3 or 4 fake ones. I mean, When people start talking about how good of a guy somebody is, that means they're not good at whatever their job is. That's what that means. You know, and people are very sensitive about the Mark Richt thing. You got to remember, when Georgia fired Mark Richt, you had grown men who went to the bridge outside Sanford Stadium with fucking candles and held hands and shit. It was weird. It was weird. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, what's up, Lou? Nick, how you doing, bro?
Hey, buddy. I'm good.
I remember that fucking year, too, man. They actually went on the bridge and hold a visual, a candlelight because they thought Mark Richt was dead. Like, he's not fucking dead. We fired his ass.
Look, Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops is a good coach. Mark Stoops is a good coach. He's about as good of a coach as Mark Richt, honestly. If Mark Stoops was at Georgia, Georgia would be winning 10 games a year.
Facts.
Anybody disagree with that?
Nope.
I mean, let's think of some more good coaches.
Sam Pittman. There you go.
Whittingham at Utah is a good coach, isn't he? Some would say he's great. I disagree. Got to win something more than the Pac-12 would be great, but he's a good coach. Who else is a good coach?
Here, let me dumb down the Disney dog Georgia fans. You guys, Mark Richt was winning us 10 games a year. And we're not saying he's a fucking bad coach. We're just saying he couldn't give us over the hump.
Right, he's a good. Yeah, he's a good coach. Yeah, he was a good coach. But it was time to move on.
It was time to move on. Yes.
Yeah, and
He's been there since I want to say what, since 2001.
Yeah, he was there since 2001. Won the SEC in his second year. Won the SEC in his fourth year. Never won it again.
With fucking Matthew Stafford, no Sean Marino, and AJ fucking great, and still can win the fucking East. That is just sad to me.
Yeah, I mean, he was a good coach. He didn't capitalize on some key opportunities that he had.
Yeah, but Lou, I also what's your well? I think this is just my opinion. I think it's going to be Ohio State and Georgia in the Natty. That's just me. Do you think this is a make or break year for Ryan Day? Like him bringing in Chip Kelly and like all these offensive pieces? Because I think Will Howard's going to be the starter. Because I have a friend who's an Ohio State fan, and we actually do a TikTok live together on TikTok, and he was raving about Jeremiah Smith. He's like, that dude is a true freshman, looks like a grown man. And
he's going to play day one. Yeah, he's playing week one. I mean, and you know how hard that is to do as a wide receiver at Ohio State? Starting as a wide receiver as a freshman at Ohio State is like starting at inside linebacker as a freshman at Georgia. That's how hard it is.
Yeah, it is.
That's how hard it is. But he's an NFL player right now. Jeremiah Smith is. He's an NFL player today. If this was basketball, he would be getting ready to play for an NFL team in 4 months, 5 months. He's that good.
Because to me, man, Lou, I think we'll learn about Ohio State when they play Oregon. Like that's going to be a good game.
Ohio State, Oregon, that's going to be a great game. It's at Oregon, too. Now, if it was in Ohio State, I'd lean there. But I think Oregon can beat them. Now, I'm not predicting that. I'll make my predictions when I make them. But, like, that's not – most games, Ohio State is so good. Like, most games, you just go, well, Ohio State's going to win that. And if they lose, you're going to be shocked. I don't think anybody's going to be shocked if Ohio State loses on the road at Oregon. Oregon is a legitimate team and a legitimate – more importantly than that, they're a legitimate program. Oregon's not a program that's going to have one good year. Oregon is not going away. Oregon's going to be in the top 10 from now to the end of time, basically. They'll have some bad years, but Oregon is no flash in the pan. They're not some overnight success story, some flash in the pan. Oregon's got money. Oregon's going to be around for a while.
And my last two, Lou, how do you feel on I love KJ Bolden and Elias Robinson. Do you think they're going to start? Especially Elias Robinson.
I hope that Elias Robinson can start. I don't. It's never ideal. It's never ideal to start a freshman corner, but we need help there. And I know I question Kirby's not like immune to criticism or to being questioned. I question Kirby on some things. If Kirby tells me someone's good enough to start on defense, I believe him. As a freshman, I believe him. So if he starts, I'm assuming that means he's ready. And that would be a good sign for Georgia because he's got a much higher ceiling than any other corner on that team. And we need help there because you saw Dalen Everett and with Nyland Green and whatever these other people were. Now, it's happened before where we had one star corner and one new corner, and the new corner didn't look great, and then the star corner goes to the NFL, and the new corner from the year before becomes the next great corner. Like we've seen that before with Eric Stokes and Keely Ringo and on and on. We've seen that, but there's no guarantee that'll happen. Like if you outside pass rusher, so whether you're talking defensive end or outside linebacker and corner, those are my biggest questions about UJ's defense. Now we lose some good safeties. Now CJ Allen.
Okay, yeah.
But he's inside linebacker.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, what needs to happen is Michael Williams. Here's what we need to find out, and we're going to find out this year. Is Michael Williams Leonard Floyd, or is he Lorenzo Carter? That's what we need to find out. Because so far, he's been Lorenzo Carter. Yeah, you can't block him on this play, and then he disappears for 2 quarters.
Yes.
Leonard Floyd was a monster every single time that ball was snapped. If it was 3rd and 6, Leonard Floyd was getting a sack, period. End of story. Lorenzo Carter, you couldn't count on him. You remember the Florida game where all they did was run the same running play 100 times?
Yes,
and they beat us? You know whose fault that was?
Lorenzo Carter.
Well, it was the defensive coordinator's fault, number one. But as far as a player, it was Lorenzo Carter every time. Over and over and over and over and over. And now look, Lorenzo Carter got drafted, and he's still in the NFL, I believe, with the Giants. So he's not a complete bust, but he didn't live up to it at Georgia. Leonard Floyd did. Which way is Michael Williams going? This is his 3rd year. He's not a true freshman anymore that you get excited because he makes 2 plays a game against Oregon. Those days are gone. That was 2 years ago. Full-time starter last year, and he can't even stay on the field. You got Chaz Chambliss. I know if you're not good enough to keep Chaz Chambliss off the field, you're not very good. So Michael Williams needs to. I don't know if maybe he's not as good as he looked early on, and maybe he's not as good as people said he would be. That's possible. I don't know if maybe he had something going on, and he wasn't all the way focused or whatever. I don't know, but he needs to play a lot better. And if he doesn't, I don't know what the other answer is out there, because we're getting ready to look at another season of Chaz fucking Chambliss is what's happening here. And I again, I don't know Chaz Chambliss. I'm sure he's a great guy, but look, here's the bottom line. Look, if Lincoln Riley, if the quarterback for Southern Cal this year throws for 3,100 yards and 25 touchdowns, is that terrible? No. But the expectation at quarterback on a Lincoln Riley team is high. So I'm not saying Chaz Chambliss is garbage. That's not what I'm saying. But he doesn't meet the standard that Kirby has set at that position. He doesn't. He doesn't. So I don't know. But CJ Allen, I got no questions about. He might win the fucking Blitnikoff Award. He's fucking unbelievable. I mean, he's like, people should be afraid of him this year. He is an absolute monster.
Tell fucking Bama fans to stop bragging about Ryan Williams. That's all they've been talking about. Yeah, Ryan Williams gonna do this. He gonna do that.
Nobody even knows who he is. But CJ Allen is an absolute monster. Now, the reason I didn't choose KJ Bolden on your original question about Elias Robinson or KJ Bolden is because I think KJ Bolden is playing 100%, no question. We lost 2-3 safeties, whatever it was, and Safety is, at least in my mind, and look, I'm no X's and O's guy. This is just my opinion. I think it's easier to play safety as a freshman than it is corner. You're rarely on an island as a safety. It happens, especially if teams run 4 and 5 wide. It can happen. But at corner, especially in UGA's defense, you're on an island every single play. Over and over and over and over and over again. Tight bump and run, man coverage 90% of the time. And KJ Bolden is... He's not Jeremiah Smith, but he's close. Like that guy, he's close to being an NFL player right now.
I don't know if you saw this on Lou, but there was a YouTube video of Jeremiah Smith and Elias Robinson going at it, and it was crazy. They were going back and forth at it, and like Elias Robinson was shutting Jeremiah Smith down, and then Jeremiah Smith was shutting Elias Robinson down.
Someone says there's too much fucking profanity. I don't know.
My last question, Lou: how do you think Chip Kelly is gonna do with Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, like with his run game scaps?
Who?
Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah,
at Ohio State. You know,
with Judkins and Travion Henderson.
Yeah, I mean, those are two really good running backs, but I mean, Ohio State's had that before with Travion Henderson and Mayan Williams. Now they've had a problem keeping them both healthy or whatever, but. Take Chip Kelly out of it for a second. This isn't like some newfound talent at Ohio State. Like they've had 2 good running backs. Like they're used to that. As far as Chip Kelly goes, he's never had 1 good running back. I mean, not really, but like the talent he's going to be working with at Ohio State is so much above and beyond what he had at UCLA. He's probably licking his lips, Chip Kelly. And I happen to like Chip Kelly. Will he ever be an elite college head coach again? Maybe not. But I don't know. Yep. If you're trying to knock, if you're one of these people running around saying, "Oh my God, this is hilarious! Ohio State hired Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator," that's not like that. That's a good hire. That's a good hire. Look, try telling a Georgia fan that hiring Will Muschamp is a bad idea because he was a bad head coach at South Carolina. Would that make any sense?
No.
No. And the fact that Chip Kelly couldn't win games at UCLA doesn't mean he's a bad hire as an offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Like, look around. How many ex-head coaches did Dick Saban hire at Bama? Everyone that he could. How many ex-head coaches does Kirby have? 2 that I know of off the top of my head. Are there more that I'm forgetting? Bobo, Muschamp, who else? Hiring head coaches is not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
Necessarily. I mean, these people became head coaches. Listen to me now. These people became head coaches. They were given an opportunity to be a head coach because they were a really good position coach or coordinator.
Yes.
Ohio State didn't hire Chip Kelly as a head coach. Georgia didn't hire Muschamp as a head coach. Or Bobo. Nick Saban didn't hire Sarkisian as a head coach, did he? No. Did he hire Lane Kiffin as a head coach? No. Did he hire Butch Jones as a head coach? No. Made him a fucking janitor. Like this idea that, oh my God, Chip Kelly didn't win very many games at UCLA and Ohio State hired him as offensive coordinator is so fucking dumb. No. Not dumb. Not dumb.
Now, if they lose to Michigan again, then yeah, we'll be concerned. But like, I don't see that happening. But.
Listen, if I had to bet $1 million right now on one team to make the playoffs, it's Ohio State, and I don't even have to think about it. In fact, if there's anybody out there that thinks Ohio State is not gonna make the playoffs, I'll take the bet right now. You name the amount. Name it. And I think Georgia's going to make the playoffs. I think Texas is going to make the playoffs. I think somebody from the ACC is going to make the playoffs. I don't know who. There's nothing I wouldn't bet that Ohio State's not making the playoffs. They're making the playoffs.
Hey Lou, is Miami your dark horse ACC team?
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
No, I think Miami's got a shot, but I think Virginia Tech is even more of a long. I don't know. I'd have to look at the odds. I don't even know who has the better odds to win the ACC out of Virginia Tech and Miami, but I think Miami's a possible. The two favorites are Clemson and Florida State. The problem with the ACC is there's no clear pecking order beyond that at all. North Carolina's been in that 3, 4, 5 range for a couple of years in the ACC. I think they're headed off the cliff. NC State is getting a lot of buzz this offseason. NC State seems like the more hype they get, the worse they do. So I don't know what to expect there, but they're like third in the ACC right now, according to preseason stuff. Virginia Tech's getting a lot of attention, but no one's really picking them to win the ACC. They're just saying, wow, Virginia Tech ended the season really good, and they get a bunch of players back. They're probably going to be a lot better next year. But a lot better would be 9-3. So there's just no clear pecking order there. Miami, I mean, they've got talent. They've got more talent now than they had last year. The talent is headed in the right direction. Mario Cristobal's got to stop making stupid Saturday decisions. And they got to stop losing to teams that are way worse than them. That's been a huge problem at Miami really the entire time they've been in the ACC. It's not I know Miami never wants to lose to Florida State, but Miami losing to Florida State last year was not the problem. Losing to Georgia Tech was the problem. And that's been the problem. How many years in a row have they lost to Georgia Tech? They can't beat the Dukes of the world. And, that's the problem. Not losing to a top 5 team. I know it's a problem internally for Miami because Florida State's a rival, but, that's not they got to stop losing games to these 5 and 6 win teams every year. And because they've got too much talent to do that. So it's possible Miami makes a run. It's possible Virginia Tech makes a run. It's possible NC State makes a run. Clemson and Florida State, I think, are the two favorites. I don't really know who I would pick right now in the ACC.
Oh, yeah, man. Bishop, thank you for my call, bro. Go Dogs.
Yeah, good to hear from you, man. We'll talk to you next time. Shout out to Nick from Arkansas. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Of course I'm on with Uncle Lou. Where else would I be?
That's right.
That's fucking right. Who's that softy little soft boy that got mad about profanity? Who was that?
I didn't see his name, and
it doesn't matter what his name is anyway, right? You know what I mean? But I had other things to talk about, but all of a sudden my Utes were starting to get blown up in chat, so I'm going to talk about them, of course, because go Utes all the way. Legitimately, if they're not good this year, if they miss the playoffs this year, I will cry. I'll just come on and have a cry with you. Yeah. It'll be fine. You'll accept it, but I will have a cry. Brent Keithy is my star player. He's incredible, right? He was starting over Dalton Kincaid forever. He was so much better than Dalton, and Dalton is Dalton, right? And then he got hurt, same way Cam did, knee stuff, and missed the season where everyone was talking about him. But he's absolutely incredible. Our starting left tackle from last year was a true freshman, and he's coming back, and he's an absolute dog, just a beast of a player. And that I can only imagine he's going to get better. And we're pretty dang good at turning 3-star offensive linemen into NFL caliber players. So with this, a 4-star type player, high 4-star type player, I'm sky's the limit. Defense is always our defense. It's going to be the same as it's always been under Morgan Scalley. It's just solid, right? It's going to give up some big plays against great talents, but what defense doesn't? But it's just going to be solid as all solid can be. There's a lot of great returning help. We have, some great players leaving, but with how injured we were last year, legitimately having 20 starters injured for games is insane, right? Insane. So everyone that's on the team now that didn't go to the NFL or graduate or whatnot got incredible playing time. This is a couple years after our best recruiting class we've ever had, which is nowhere near an Alabama or a Georgia, any of you people that have been illegally paying people for years. Ohio State looking at you. USC looking at you. But like now that it's a little bit more playing field and you can have a leased truck if you come to Utah, hey, we got some decent talent. We got the Cam Rising back. I'm just gonna say his name and move on, but we got some dogs, dude. Like, and I'm gonna talk some crap. I truly believe last year's team and the Pac-12 for the last couple of years, the top tier of the Pac-12 has been better than the Big 12 or ACC. Oregon, Washington, USC, and Utah, and then UCLA to a weird degree, like a weird upsetty degree. Like those four, like I'd put in the ACC big, obviously now the big, look at Oregon. Even the SEC, like they wouldn't be considered like, oh, go fuck yourself teams. Like those four have just ate each other up. We kicked an undefeated Oregon out of the playoffs. We kicked an undefeated USC out of the playoffs just to ruin stuff. Like the upper tier of the Pac-12 has been great for the past few years, and it doesn't get the respect it does because they ate each other. They were good compared to each other, and they beat each other. So I legit going into this new one, like Oklahoma State, Kansas State, and a sneaky Arizona. Arizona is my sleeper team of the entire college football season. Like that team is incredibly, incredibly talented in my opinion, but has no coach. They just lost their coach. So they're this weird wild card of talent that I think is incredibly underrated. I think they'll come back motivated. I think that's a sleeper to pick to upset some people and to make a decent run. You can get great odds on them, and as much as Arizona as a retirement home state full of just gross people in general, that no one should ever visit because it's just disgusting. Like the entire state is a disgusting state. All the people are bad people. Like they're just very, very Smithersy. It's a very Smithers type state. It's just gross. So if you like, just don't go there. But this particular team, this team is a good team, and I think it's one to be on the lookout for. So as
well,
long
just
as
think
I can
about it. The best thing about Arizona is a hole in the ground. Just think about it. I mean,
dude, it's not as bad as New Mexico. Like New Mexico's just dog shit. So, but Arizona is it's just, if OnlyFans was a state, it would be Arizona. It's just old white dudes, just creepy Smithersy type people, and then young whore women. Like that's the whole state, and then immigrants. Like, but they just do gardening and stuff.
You
so
said
don't
Florida?
worry about that. No, well, Florida very similar. Like it's the West Coast Florida, just without the humidity.
Okay.
And or like less meth too. I feel like way less meth. But yeah, it's a gross state. It's a garbage state. We don't need it. It is like, if you're gonna hate a team on the west side of the Mississippi, if you hate Florida, just hate Arizona. It's the same fucking thing. It's they're mirroring each other. But like I really don't know what I'll do this year. We get to play BYU again, which is just salty, sweet goodness of joy, right? Just so good. They're gonna feed us brownies and milk as we show up to their stadiums. Like they have you heard about that? Like their fans will make homemade non-weed brownies. It's Mormons, and they will go and deliver them to the opposing team section, and they'll just walk by and hand it out like it's sacrament or something. Just be like, would you like a brownie and some milk? Just begging for friendship. They're the grossest people of all time. Just the neediest codependent fan base of all time. I can't stand them. So anyway, we're gonna get some brownies and a W like everyone else that plays BYU. But like that, if we lose that game, I'll be gone for at least a week. I'll have to go camping or something. Hopefully I come home, rest, do the cross and stuff, whatever you gotta do. But then we got to play all these other teams, and we've been talking a lot of shit, dude. We've been talking a lot of shit as a unit, as a fan base, on the onlines and whatnot. And I can't have a a less than 11-1. If we even lose 2 games, it's going to be rough. It's going to be tough. If we lose more than 1 game, it's like I'll be beside myself. I'll be inconsolable, if you will. And I don't know if I'm going to have to. I look at me. I'm stuttering like Stanley over here. I don't know what I'd do if this next year's team just absolutely shits the bed in the new conference. It won't be good. Like everything that everyone says we'll deserve. Like we'll just have to act like, Alex Grinch when USC's head coach, we refuse to say his name, came in to visit him and asked him if he wanted to keep his job, if you know what I mean. Like we're just going to have to act just like that, just head down, ass up, and just take it. It's not going to be good. I can't bear to stand it. I really can't even think about it. It's one of those dark things. Like if you lose a close friend that you had some really close ties with and feel like you could have done something else, like to help them out. Like it's like one of those, like, I should probably talk to a therapist if this goes south. It's not going to be good. But the main reason I wanted to talk to you was
That wasn't the main reason?
No. That was just a side thought.
We're just now getting to the main reason. Let's get back to the trash talking Arizona as a state, because obviously that's been the best part of the call so far. Now, you don't give Arizona any type of a pass or a bump up at all because of the whole ayahuasca deal. Like that doesn't matter to you?
What ayahuasca? What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Right.
Do I look like Aaron Rodgers?
No,
dude. Go to South America if you want to do ayahuasca.
Okay.
With an A for the first letter. But you can just get concentrated DMT pretty much anywhere if you just ask around. Like go to a festival or something. You can experience the netherworld if you want to experience it.
Okay.
But they have toads. If you want to do the Mike Tyson toads, they also have that down there.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, now we're getting somewhere. I can't be the only person that hopes he knocks that stupid motherfucker out cold. He's fighting again.
And he's fighting. Yes, I do.
Jake Paul.
But he's 60.
Well, he's 57. But when is Jake Paul? I don't understand. This guy wants to be taken seriously so bad, but he won't fight a fucking boxer. What is he doing?
He's fighting Mike Tyson, dude. Mike Tyson's Mike Tyson. Did you watch his training video before he fought in that exhibition?
I hope Mike Tyson just lands one on him. I hope he sends Jake Paul back to his fucking YouTube days. I'm so sick of this motherfucker. Jake Paul is so fucking annoying that he almost makes me like Logan Paul.
That's an interesting thing to do. Like I just generally hate whole families, Hatfield and McCoy style. But I want him to hit him, knock him out, and then like pull out some bushes or something. I don't know if you'll get this reference, but like pull out some bushes and like have someone come behind him and be like, "Hey guys, you want to see a dead body?" And then go peeking through the bushes. Like if you get that reference, you're one of the few. But yeah, the Pauls decided to go film a dead body and then post it on YouTube.
What state is sanctioning this?
It's got to be Las Vegas, dude. It's got to be Vegas.
I just hope. I just hope Mike Tyson lands just one good one. Got to let you go. Thanks for the main point. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou. How you doing, man?
Good, buddy. What's going on?
Nothing much. Is it too much noise in the background? I got my fan on.
No. You're good. You're good. Believe me. I'll let you know.
Did anybody talk about the okay, first of all, just to go off topic real quick before I say what I wanted to say. Hey, how long you think it's gonna be before Octavian call back into the show?
Tuesday.
I was looking at you think he gonna call in Tuesday, man? Hey, you said something about a couple weeks ago when you was like, he entertaining, but every time he say something come out his mouth, he's full of shit. For some reason, I knew he wouldn't come into the Slob Olympics, man.
Yeah, me too.
He
kept saying he was coming, but not one time did he ask anybody, where is it? What time is it?
Yep.
What are the event? Nothing. He had no questions. I'm coming. Yeah, come. Yeah, I'm coming. And then of course he didn't come. Came up with some kind of COVID excuse. There ain't. Look, Octavian. How old is Octavian? 25 or something like that. I don't know. Talking about he was hospitalized from COVID. There ain't no 25-year-old running around getting hospitalized from COVID. Come on.
Hey, Lou, the other thing is this too, Lou. If you got COVID, would you be in the chat this morning typing in the chat and shit? Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, I had COVID and it sucked. It was kind of like the flu. It lasted 2 or 3 days. I didn't even go to the fucking doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and I'm 45. I'm a 45-year-old slob who's out of shape and can't even walk up a flight of stairs without taking a break. I mean, I'm not knocking COVID. Like, COVID is serious. And if you have health problems or you're old or something like that, you need to really be careful. But Octavian's 25 years old, talking about he was hospitalized from COVID. No, you just didn't come to the Summer Olympics, man. They're making shit up.
Yeah, there was a convenient time to say you had COVID too. So
yeah.
But the other question I had, did you see the ESPN? I know you probably didn't. I don't know if you guys talked about it on the show already. I just tuned in. But did you see the top 10 college quarterback list?
No.
Yeah, so man, so they had Carson Beck number 1. And man, I looked into the comment section, you should have heard. They had Jalen Miro, they had him number 4. Now I don't know why they had him there high, but they had him there high.
Who was 2? Shedeur Sanders?
Huh?
Shedeur Sanders was 2?
Nah, he was number 8.
That surprises me.
Now the number 2 was Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
Yeah, he was number 2, but the thing is, you should have seen all of the Alabama dumbass. Well, he beat Carson Beck and Jalen Miro for Heisman and this and that. I'm like, man, it doesn't matter. Like, you know how you give out that analogy of Stetson Bennett all the time. Stetson Bennett and like Bryce Young. Like, yeah, Stetson Bennett beat Bryce Young, but who would you rather?
Is Alabama's tight end better than Brock Bowers?
No. No, sir.
Alabama as a team beat Georgia. That's all that matters. But you can't use that as proof that some player is better than another. That's mental retardation on a level so bad that most of the people that call into this show wouldn't even be able to understand it. Like, yeah, like man. That's so. The idea that this team beat that team, therefore every player on this team is better than every player on that team, is the most basic bitch argument I've ever. If there is a human being on planet Earth who thinks that Stetson Bennett is a better quarterback than Bryce Young, I want to see this Neanderthal. Because Stetson Bennett is not a better quarterback than Bryce Young. Yet Stetson's got 2 natties and Bryce Young's got 0. How's that possible? Well, it's possible because as a team, Georgia was better than Alabama in those 2 years. Like, that's it. So this whole thing, because this is, but you're right. That they say that if I say anything about mildew at all, anything, the canned ham response is the same. Well, he beat Georgia. Okay, great. Is whatever defensive end for Texas that you can't name better than Will Anderson? I'm just asking.
You're right. No,
I mean, give me a break here. This is just insanity at a level. I mean, this is bad even for Alabama fans that they can be this dumb. That, oh, well, this team beat that team, so what do you mean such and such ain't better than such? That's what I mean. Carson Beck is better than mildew. Cry. I don't know what else to fucking tell you.
He was number 1 on the list.
God damn. Is Jalen Milroe better than fucking Caleb Williams too? Caleb Williams was 7 and 5. Oh, you think Caleb Williams so good? It was 7 and 5. Jesus fuck.
Yes, sir. And the other thing, man, you would have went crazy because most of those comments, it was Alabama, but man, I started seeing that Graham Mertz and Nico. I seen that all. I'm like, man, if these dumbass Florida and Tennessee fans, I don't know why they was, you know what I'm saying, talking about Graham Mertz, but Tennessee, they losing their mind, Luke. They doing it all over again with this goddamn Nico kid who only threw, who ran for 3 touchdowns, threw no touchdowns in that goddamn bowl game. Like, they losing their mind, Luke, with this Nico shit. They going overboard, man. I'm tired of seeing it. But, we're going to hear it all off season about how they got hope. You know what I'm saying?
Alabama fans think J.J. McCarthy's better than Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, if they making the point they're making, yeah.
Okay.
That's what it should be if they making the point that they making. But Lou, I was looking right, so I think Carson Beck made a really good business decision coming back, man, because that top 10 quarterback list
is loaded.
Man,
I think he did too. Yeah, I think he did too. In fact, take NIL out of it. Pretend there is no such thing as NIL. I still think it's better for Carson Beck to come back for another year because of how loaded this year's quarterback class is. Yeah. Now, obviously, it made his decision a lot easier because he can get an NIL payment to come back.
Right.
But yeah, like Carson Beck, he only has the 1 year as a starter. Let's be real. He's not the most mobile and athletic guy on the planet. I mean, you got Caleb Williams is probably more athletic and mobile than Carson Beck. Jaden Daniels definitely is. Drake May definitely is. And all of those quarterbacks throw the ball about as well as Carson Beck. Carson Beck may be a little better throwing than Jaden Daniels, but so that's a negative against Carson Beck in comparison to all of those guys who are at the top of this year's NFL draft board when it comes to quarterbacks.
Right.
So I do think it was a good decision for him to come back. Wherever he would have got drafted this year, second, third round, whatever, I think it will be higher next year.
Yeah, I feel like he can probably play his way into the maybe into the first round. You know, it'll probably better fits him if it's like a late first round pick, you know, something like that where he can probably sit and develop under a good team or something like that. Well, no, because good teams usually don't take quarterbacks that high like that. But something like that, I just hope he get, you know, drafted into a good situation, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's all I had, Lou. You have a good night, man, and keep up the good work.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you coming on. Good to hear from you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. All right. Thank you. That was amazing. In fact, it was unbelievable almost. Almost. All right. That's it. Nobody else waiting in the back room. So we're going to shut it down for today. This might be the last ever call-in show in this amazing room here. So shout out to LouTube Studio 4.0. Shout out to LouTube Studio 4.0. Garage. No. Screened in porch, garage, she shed, LouTube Studio 4.0. The end of an era. I watched Georgia win 2 national titles in this room. 2. Man, the end of an era. You hate to see it. All right, let's get caught off on these super chats, and then we will call it a day. Biggs Mikes, thank you for the super chat. He says, enjoy your morning, bud. Here's some coffee money for the move. Go blue. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you helping to support the show, and yeah, I'm never going to turn down coffee money. Thank you. Scottish says, I'm definitely worried about Michigan in 24. Not that I had high hopes after our loss in coaching and players. Thanks for all you do, Lou. Look, my thoughts on Michigan really haven't changed over the last month or so since Harbaugh and company left. I think Michigan is recruited really, really well. I think the foundation at Michigan is strong. I actually think in this instance, it's probably a good idea that they promoted from within, given some of the stuff that's going on the outside with the cheating scandal and all that. I don't think Michigan's going to fall off a cliff. I also wouldn't bet a single dollar on Michigan winning the national title next year. Now, there's a big gap between not being any good and not winning a national title. Michigan's somewhere in there. They're going to win 8, 9+ games. I think they have an outside shot to make the playoffs. But if I'm ranking just the Big Ten right now for 2024, probably putting Michigan somewhere in the 3, 4, 5 range in the Big Ten for this season. Don't know. I know Sharon Moore stepped in an interim role and coached some games for Michigan. That's not the same as laying your head down on the pillow every night for 8 months in the offseason knowing you're the guy. You're in charge. Everything is on your shoulders. There's a different level of pressure that comes with that. And when a guy's never been a head coach before, we just don't know how he's going to respond to that. Maybe he's the next Nick Saban, right? Or maybe he's the next no-name that 2 years down the road we don't even remember him. You just don't know. We just have no idea. What we do know is that there are other teams in the Big Ten who appear to be better in 2024 than they were in 2023, whereas Michigan appears to be at least a little bit worse in 24 than they were in 23. Now, they were really good in 23, undefeated, and won the national title. So getting worse from that isn't falling off a cliff. I mean, look, Georgia was worse in 23 than they were in 22, right? Georgia wasn't a bad team in 2023. But they won the national title the year before. They didn't win the national title in 23, so they were a little bit worse of a team. I don't know where Michigan's going to land. I think they're a borderline playoff team for 2024. They're a top 15-ish team. They could finish top 10. They could finish 7th. They could finish 5th. They could win the Big Ten. I wouldn't pick them to, but Washington's going to fall off. You can forget Washington for this year. They're not going to be very good. Michigan will be good. How good, I don't know. Nick Koenig, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Lou, driving to New Orleans from Ohio, currently in Nashville, and listening to your show to pass the time. Love all you do, and go Bucks. Man, that is a long ride. I don't know about Ohio. My guess would be no, but I know for a fact they have an airport in New Orleans. I would have looked into that. Retro KG, thank you for the super chat. He says, time for the Bama man to go back to NASCAR. Break out those Jeff Gordon jerseys. Have a good morning. And now, not the Rainbow Warrior. Makes sense, I guess. Lou's official white gorilla mask has made an appearance. Thank you for the super chats. He says, I love the show, Lou, even though the comments are full of references and half the callers can't say words with the letter R in them. Hit the like button. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. I'm fixing to shut it down. I know y'all are headed out the door, but if you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, that is a big help to these live streams. So if you enjoyed the show tonight, hit that thumbs up. And then Lou's official white gorilla mask says, damn it, meant to say retards, not references. I'm going to get in trouble one of these days for saying that word. I do make an honest effort not to say words that I know will offend people, even if I think it's stupid that it will offend them. But for whatever reason, I can't get off of that word. And I know you're not supposed to say it anymore. But you know what? Here's my thing with that word. That word doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, it doesn't, there's no such thing as retarded anymore. It's not even a word. 50 years ago, when we didn't understand the spectrum like we understand it today, you know, there was no Down syndrome or Asperger's or whatever. There was none. There was. We just didn't know it. We didn't know what it was. If you were any of those things 50 years ago, they didn't know how to classify that, so they just called you retarded. And I know you're not supposed to say that anymore, but now they do have all those things. So really, no one is retarded anymore because that doesn't even exist as a word. But it is offensive to people. People do get mad when I say it. I for whatever reason, I've been unable to get away from it. You know how it is these days. I mean, before long, you're going to have to carry a book around of words you are allowed to say, you know. But, you know, what are you going to do? All I can do is apologize, I guess. Apologize. You're not supposed to say that, Luke. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I mean, look, what's the first step to fixing a problem is knowing you have one. I know. Okay? I know. I've just been stuck on step one with that for a while, I guess. I don't know. Thank God no one's watching this show anymore. But I do know I'm not supposed to say that. Oh. Let me just get out of here. I'm starting to sound like a retard.